Blerds, the work, Mike D, Jay Supreme. Blerds, the work, is Z Ali. Captain Kirk. Blerds, the work, circa 85. Tobias Black. Yeah. Welcome Black up in this mug. Thank you all for listening. Blerds, the word is officially Black in the building for season 2. First episode out the gate. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mike D, and we got co-host Jay Supreme.
Yo, what's good, bro? What up, man? You out here? Let it all out, man.
I'm excited, man. This shit been a long time coming, man. Look, thank you all for being patient with us. We needed some time off, but we back in the building. We got Blerds in the building. We're gonna start kicking it off with Mace the Great.
Yo, what up?
That's right, circa 85.
Hello, and thanks for listening.
And last but certainly not least, we got Captain Kirk.
As my brother Mike say, we black in the building, baby.
Hey, hold on. Hey, why May sound like he was auditioning for like one of those couple show? Yo, what's good?
Fools out here trying to get shows, man. They're not trying to have a podcast, man. They trying to get shows.
Yeah, man. That's all. I'm just excited.
So about who behind curtain number 1? This is Mace the Great.
I just said that, Mike. I was muted. I just said that.
Yo, get me in trouble. Stop, man.
I was just muted, man.
This ain't the love connection. All right.
Trouble. Stop.
Hey, people, we are just happy to be back in this mug. It's been too long. We needed some time off because we've been busy in the background. First, we had to enjoy the fucking holidays. We've done that. But we also took time to upgrade the damn show. You all are going to see better video from us. If you followed us on YouTube, you're going to see more shit from us this year. The audio is going to sound better for all of our podcast listeners. We've all upgraded equipment, software, so y'all can hear the shit better. And we got better marketing. Shout out to Genuinely Creative, who set up all of the promo for us, kicked ass. All of that shit looks great. So if you're not following us on social media at Blerds the Word, do that shit. We're starting to ramp up this year. We're really excited about all the stuff we got coming out. We also got a new rating system, which you'll notice when we talk about movies, TV shows, and all that shit. We're going to start talking about our rating system a bit different. I think you all were used to hearing us give shit, 1 to 10, but now we're going to give it Infinity Stones. So we figure we're Blerds. Why should we keep something as simple as 1 to 10? So we got 6 Infinity Stones to get a snap. If something's dope as fuck, it's going to get a snap. And if it's whack, it's not. But we're going to give grades based on how many stones we give whatever movies or TV shows we review. That said, let's jump into this motherfucker and start talking about some of the movies that's out that we're excited for. I think, Blerds, I'm going to start with the one I've most enjoyed the last few weeks, and that's the movie One Night in Miami. I don't know, how everyone on the call feels about it. I want to hear your rating, but I would give that shit a full snap. All of the Infinity Stones. I loved every single performance. I love the writing. I love the set pieces. Everything about that movie, to me, spoke to a classic. How'd y'all feel about it, though?
Man, shout out to Regina King.
Woo, say that.
Man.
Killing the game right now.
I would give it a full 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it. The acting, the writing, all of it. It was pretty good, man. Like I said, shout out to Regina King again.
Man,
I know she has skills like that on the directing side.
Bruh, she killing the game right now. Between that project and the Watchmen and just all of the stuff she's doing right now, man. Like she's kicking ass right now in the industry, man. I'm just really happy for that sister. But yo, what y'all think about them performances, yo? Like I couldn't see anybody else in those roles. I feel like each actor perfectly captured like everyone that they played, be it Malcolm X, Cassius Clay, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke. I felt like all those brothers delivered. How'd y'all feel about it?
I think the performances were really good and on point. I like that they picked some actors that wasn't as familiar to embody the parts. It's interesting because it's based on a play. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't feel like one. it ain't feel like you was watching one. You know, when you watch like Fences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think like the actors did a real good job of making it feel like an organic experience. Like they just chilling in a hotel breaking bread.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it didn't happen exactly like that, you felt like when you left that movie, you felt like, man, that happened. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a testament to the chemistry of the actors, like what they did. So I think they were very impressive. And Regina King making a choice to not cast as well-known actors was very smart on her part, because them dudes delivered quality, and hopefully they get more work going forward.
I hope they get more work, and I hope they get recognized in the industry for the performances they put on. Like I think what's the guy, Leslie Odom Jr., the dude who plays Sam Cooke. I feel like he due an award for this shit. I mean, he was great in Hamilton, but seeing him as Sam Cooke in this movie, I think he made his mark. I think he should at least be nominated for a supporting role. I thought his performance was incredible when he was singing at the end, "A Change Gonna Come." Like, you felt every fucking note of that, man. That brother kicked ass. And let me ask y'all this: the brother who played Cassius Clay, his name's Eli Gorey. How'd y'all think he did as Cassius Clay?
I think he did really. I think he did amazing. I think he did better than Will Smith.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. I agree.
He did better than Will Smith. Now, granted, like the whole movie wasn't centered around him.
Yeah.
But I thought he was either better or as good.
Yep.
But to Sale point, Captain Kirk point, Regina King not casting the main actors, I believe she said that nobody didn't want to audition. So like the big name stars, they didn't want to audition for the roles. I guess they felt like entitled. And so the people that she cast, they auditioned and they, won those roles, so respectfully. So I like that. But overall, I didn't give my rating. I'll probably give it I'll probably give it a 6.
Full snap?
6 Infinity Stones.
Okay.
It was emotional. For me, it was emotional, especially the ending when Sam Cooke was singing that song, and how it led up to basically Malcolm, about to be assassinated. And like you felt like that's what was about to happen.
Yeah.
And it tugged on my emotions for sure. I think I damn near cried just feeling that, because Malcolm X is like it's probably my favorite historical figure, and just to make it, the guy did so well, so great. It felt like I was actually watching Malcolm X.
Yep.
And so it's like I knew. It was like, I don't know. It was like, damn, like I know this man about to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I felt that connection to him.
Yeah.
And she did the way it was shot, the way it was written. They did a great job with tugging on our emotions and making us connect to what was the dialogue of what was being said.
For sure. And the brother who played Malcolm X, his name's Kingsley Ben Adir, and I think we're gonna see a lot more from that brother.
Yeah.
But let me ask you.
Part, my bad, I'm gonna cut you off. I think he did. I think he did good. I saw Sale shaking his head like, nah, he didn't really do that well. I mean, I need to hear this, brother. Like, what's your gripe with Cash, the guy who Cash is?
I thought you was about to just go on this a little tear, because at first you say, oh man, I think he did better than Will Smith. Then you talking about Malcolm X, the dude that played Malcolm X. I thought you was about to say, I think he did just as better than Denzel. So that's why my face all kind of, because you emotionally heightened right now, so I'm gonna give you a pass. You know what I'm saying? I know you in your feelings about this, but them brothers came through. So not to take anything away from them, but I do think that acting, especially when you're playing historical figures, is built off the last person that played it. Hence is why we able to get like better quality over time if the character like repeated. In essence, you get to do something different and a different spin. But I think I think
So
you're right,
you don't think they could do their
good.
standalones? You think he could have a standalone Muhammad Ali movie?
For sure. But it's what I'm saying is that it's always built off a reference point from maybe people that did it before as well.
I think the reference point would be the actual person, because they have footage to go off of.
Look, if you play Will Smith and you play Buddy that played, if you play them side by side, it had the same cadence and flow.
Yep.
I mean, that's Muhammad Ali. That's how he talked.
Yeah.
So I think the reference would be the actual person versus the actual actor who did it before. Just like with Malcolm X, like I think it might be is to duplicate an actual human being who you're trying to act as versus creating a character on your own. I think it's a little different, and I think I don't think he probably did look at Denzel, but he also had a lot of footage of Malcolm X to go off of too, and and the guy who played Muhammad Ali. It was a lot. It's definitely a lot of footage to study the craft.
Like I said, man, you emotionally connected, but it's cool.
I'm emotional now.
Yeah, I think the guy who played Malcolm X, he wasn't obviously as good as Denzel, but the guy who played Muhammad Ali was much better than Will Smith.
Yep.
Like Supreme said, if you Google Muhammad Ali, then you watch the guy who played Muhammad Ali, he embodied the role.
Absolutely.
He was amazing.
Yep.
And I do get a movie, Six Infinity Stones.
Okay.
I get a snap too, but two scenes stood out to me. I want to say the beginning when Jim Brown went to go see.
Oh yeah.
He went to the house and he got called a nigga by the guy.
Yep.
And you thinking this is Jim Brown, like this is the greatest athlete of the time, and he can't even come inside the guy house and he get called a nigga.
Yep.
It just gives you a sign of the times.
Yep.
What it was 64, right? What year was it?
Somewhere in the 60s.
60 somewhere, right? 64, something like that. That scene stood out. And the scene where Sam Cooke was on stage and they couldn't get the sound right. So, he did Chain Gang and he had everybody stump their feet and clap their hands and stuff. And that didn't give you chills. I don't know what would.
Man.
Yeah, that was probably the best movie I've seen in the past about 6 months. Going back.
Have y'all seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up.
I seen that yet. I need to watch that.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's another one that we didn't have a chance to actually review that one because it came out during our break. But I think that's another heavy contender for one of the best in recent months. I think
Kirk is giving these looks like we tripping.
Wait, do you not agree? That was probably I think that might go down as one of Chadwick's best.
I thought it was one of Chadwick's best performances for sure.
Come on, Cap, hit us with it, man. What you over there shaking your head about?
He disappointed in what we was doing.
Nah, man, y'all good, man. These perfect snaps y'all giving.
I ain't even giving a perfect snap. I just
hey, look, best movie. It was good. It was one of Chadwick's best, but I wouldn't say it was the best Chad then put on for us. To me, I like James, to be honest. And the quality, the flow of the movie, the acting performances was good, but that joint felt like a play.
It did feel like a play.
Jumped around and all that stuff, and so like I don't want to get too in my feelings about it. You know what I mean? I thought it was good, but I do think emotions do play a part in some of this stuff because we are watching Chad's last performance, so the hype around it is a lot different. And like when I be hearing people say, man, that's his best performance and all that stuff, like, nah, man, dude didn't put out some quality. Now it might be up there like a top 3 or something like that, but I would really have to sit down and think, like, is this Chad's best performance, or did this movie really hit me? Because to be honest, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But even the way it ended so suddenly.
It's been out long enough. Let's talk about it. Spoilers.
Even that ending.
We not do that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but even the way it ended was kind of like, oh, okay. Well, you got movie privileges, so maybe you could add a little bit more context to this, add a little bit more depth to it. That part I wasn't really feeling. So I would give it. Well, we ain't giving no rating, but I would say it was good. But
we could rate it. How many Infinity Stones would you give it out of 6?
About 4 for me.
Wow. I gotta push back a little bit, man. I'm one of Chadwick's fans as well. I love James Brown. I mentioned it on the show before, but I think when I saw this movie, the reason why his performance stood out for me, yeah, it was emotional knowing this was his last role, but I also, have talked to people who saw the original play, who said that originally Ma Rainey was supposed to be the centerpiece of the entire story. And Chadwick, I'm not going to say he stole the show because Viola Davis did her thing, but you were deeply pulled into his story. Like, I mean, to the point, like you understood, his motivations, like what he was trying to get away from, like the scenes where he was describing like how he came up, how he dealt with the racists in the South, and like what he was trying to achieve, like how he was trying to get out and start his own. Like I felt like his story in that short amount of time resonated, man. And I think he just brought it in terms of every nuance of like how he, like the tears he would, like the emotions that he would bring into it, man. It felt powerful to me, brother. Consider it as like one of his top roles. And in terms of the film overall, I'd give it 5 out of the 6 Infinity Stones, only because, as you put, this was definitely one that I could see more as a play than an actual movie, because it was shot damn near like a play. But that's the only stone I would take away from it. Everything else I love.
Oh, I think I'd give it I'll probably give it a 4. I'm with Sel on the actual overall movie. Is it his best? I mean, that's something that we'll probably have to come back to, but like, it's definitely one of us for sure. Maybe top 3, top 5 for sure. And he played a lot of roles.
Yeah.
In a lot of movies. So yeah. I ain't mean to throw that curveball in there like
No, it's cool. I'm glad you brought it up because it didn't even occur to me that we didn't get a chance to rate it on the show. So I'm glad it came into the discussion. If people haven't seen it yet, I advise you to at least go watch it. It's worth watching, and I think that it's a great film. Whether it's Chadwick's best or not, it seems like that's up for debate. but it is a great movie. Let's move on to another one that just recently came out, though, that's getting a lot of buzz, which is American Skin. Probably one of the harder movies I've had to sit through recently, just because of how deep the subject matter runs, especially coming out of 2020. As you all know, the movie itself is pretty much about a man whose son had been murdered by police. Without spoiling too much for those who haven't seen it, he decides to pretty much take justice into his own hands because justice was not allowed for his son. And so overall, I think the movie, for me, it would have been a 5 out of 6 Infinity Stone. I think Nate Parker did a great job writing and directing it. I even think a few of the performances around, like some of the side characters, like Amari Hardwick, was good, and it's good seeing him as somebody other than Ghost for a chance. I thought it was pretty compelling. What did you all feel about it?
So the dialogue alone for me is what drove the movie. Like that whole putting all these different perspectives in one room and kind of forcing it. They played the long game with it in the context of his son, being murdered by police officers. But once they got into that facility, what was they at in the town? What was it called? Town hall or something like that?
Yeah, they were in I think they were, the courthouse.
Yeah. Once they got there, bro, like Nate is so good at writing like raw perspective. Like he did not hold back. Yep. And I'm talking about from a police officer perspective, but you got multiple police officer perspectives in that moment. Yep. But you also got the convicts, the citizens, and then the victims of it. Yep. You know what I mean? And to go full circle in 1 hour and 29 minutes, because that's how long it ran. To go full circle like that and get that powerful feeling in that short period of time within the movie, I thought was dope. So I gave it about 5. Mine is about 5.5 out of 6. It was damn near perfect just off dialogue alone. Like the structure and flow of the movie may not have been perfect. Last point, the way he shot it too. It felt like he was in there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was dope. So yeah, that's my rating for American Skin.
I agree. I got no disagreement on that. Mace, how'd you feel about it?
It was a tough one to watch. That was probably one of. Okay, yeah, that was a movie that definitely made me cry. I ain't trying to sound soft or nothing, but,
no judgment here, brother.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. You're seeing things from different perspectives. And what was really emotional was, how the father, how he's explaining, like, look, you can't tell me how I feel. Like, this is how I feel. You took my son away from me.
Right.
But then as he's pleading his case, you're getting all these flashbacks.
Right.
So like they did a really good job with shooting that. Really tough one to watch, but I give it a perfect 6.
Wow. Yeah, man. And then ain't no shame in it. I think I sat through with my box of Kleenex. I was gripping that mug. Like it was a deeply emotional, and the callbacks to his son were really tough to watch. And one of the things I thought was interesting too was, hearing the police with I call it the excuses, the common excuses that we hear when there's a police involved shooting of a black child, is like, well, this is how we were trained, to see people as threats, and that came out. And one of the brothers who was in it, who didn't have a big role, but really captured how certain white police officers feel, is that got the actor's name is Theo Rossi. He actually played in Luke Cage too, but he was trying to take up for the officer who was on trial and giving every excuse in the book why something like that just happens, and how these are all criminals, and just the way that certain officers see the black community. I thought that they did a really good job of bringing that into it. And bringing in the fear too, right? Because the guy who was on trial was like, look, I'm trying to go home to my family, and dude's looking at it like, I got
trying to go home too.
Exactly. So so no, I would probably agree. I think I'd give it 5 out of 6 stones. Just very tough to sit through as a black man, especially. It was a tough ass movie to get through. Jay Supreme, how about you?
I thought it was really well written. The acting was great. The dialogue was amazing. It felt like we were back in college, having those raw discussions.
Yeah.
And the way it was shot was very good. It was immersive. It made you feel like you were there. Especially when they started like having a trial and hearing everybody's perspective.
Yeah,
it made you feel like you was part of the jury. You was sitting like right next to everybody and hearing everyone out. Nate Parker is great. He need to get his flowers now, his roses now, because there's not many people who are unapologetically, for the people that's in Hollywood and making these kind of releases,
Yeah.
And it's not like it's, how can I put it, like cliche in a sense. He made sure like everyone, his perspective was like heard and seen in that hour and 30 minutes.
Right.
And as short of a time that is, I think he did an amazing job by getting that done. Even, it's almost like you was like playing ping pong. Like every time you heard somebody's perspective, like, damn, is that great?
Yeah.
Damn, you almost like feel sympathy for that part. And then somebody else said something like, yeah, that is right, what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else said something like, nah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he did a really good job with with the dialogue and making us think, and basically having us, choose like what was right and what was really wrong.
Yeah.
And I like how, because at first, the cop was saying like you were speeding,
right.
like you're accountable for your son's death, like own up for your actions. And I'm thinking like, damn, I hope this man wasn't speeding. Then Nate was like, well, what did you clock us at? He didn't even write it in the report.
Right.
He wasn't speeding. They were profiling, and had the cop not profiled, then his son would have been alive,
Yep.
So it was I thought it was great, man. I thought it was good. I wanted to know more about Amari Harwick character, because he was like, he had already like reached the end of his, like, I'm already ready to die. I think he was going through cancer.
Right.
He had cancer and he was like just not wanting to fight, but like it was something that happened with him. Y'all, I gave it out of 5 out of 6. So like, what are y'all gripes about it? Like, what, like, I think it'd have to come down to like some nitpicking to not like really get it,
It's not necessarily, to me, the reason I took a stone off. By the way, Mace gave it a 6, so he gave it the perfect snap. I just took a snap off, or I took a stone off just because of how hard it was to get through it. I mean, I think it's a story worth seeing, and not every movie is made to make you happy. I get that. I just think because of the nature of it, like, I know a lot of folks who haven't watched it because, like, in my case, I had to pick a day to watch the shit. Like, I knew it had to be a particular day. I had to be in a certain mood to even hit play on that. So for me, because of the, I would say, the emotional trauma that is a black man that you have to endure and sit through to watch the film, I think that's the only reason I take a stone away. It's just because it took all of that mental kung fu for my ass to sit down on the couch and actually watch and get through it. That's it.
I didn't sleep.
Wouldn't that make it perfect though? Because it was just so difficult to watch.
Yeah. It could easily get the snap, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I don't know. It was hard, man. It was a hard film. But in terms of Nate Parker getting his due, I want to say one quick thing. I hope he gets his flowers. I was bothered by the fact that every reviewer that I watched, though, going up to this film, like, talking about the film, brought up Nate's past. It was like, it was almost immediately after they'd say, hey, this is a great film, it'd be directed by Nate Parker, who you'd remember from being accused of blah, blah, blah. And it was like every review had to throw that in on the brother. And I know, we live in that cancel culture. I hope that at some point he can, his career can sort of transcend beyond that. But I just wanted to call it out because I saw that shit in a number of reviews that I read going into the film. Is like, yeah, it's a great film, but it's directed by Nate Parker, who you'd remember from. And I just hate the way they do that to folks. But whole other subject.
Yeah, I didn't give it a perfect Jeff Wright. It was based on nitpicking, but it was one big reason why I couldn't, because I couldn't see the flow that led up into them getting into that facility, right? Like the planning and dedication it took, or even the justification of his family members, like really putting emphasis on that. His family was there riding with him, right? You get what I mean? And like, I thought that was a heavy piece too, to show how it hits not just the mother and the father, but everybody else. So leading up into that, like, that was some good context to really show like dedication and how these losses impact these families. But then it was like the nitpick part. Like, man, they had a whole trial for like 7 hours, 8 hours. And you saw like one phone call. Give me my son back. Give me my son back. He said that about 3-4 times. And then he was able to have his trial. Ain't nobody throw no smoke grenades in that joint. No, and maybe I watched too much John Q. Maybe I watched too much Samuel L. Jackson. Cool. Right. Cool. But last point though, bro, like, the thing about the movie was what happens when people are forced to have that dialogue under extreme circumstances, right? And that was the beautiful part of it, because even watching it, I learned something from every perspective in that, whether I thought it was right or wrong, because fear is fear. You can't justify somebody else's feelings the same way they can't justify us, but you do need to hear it. You get what I'm saying? So you can understand. And then the way it ended, because even if you in a place where you forced to have that dialogue, you still got to deal with the outside world. Even if you learn from those experiences, everybody in that room learned, you still got to deal with the outside world that wasn't there. And just think about our households. You know what I'm saying? We could teach them everything. They still got to deal with the outside world. So I thought that was dope, because everybody in those scenes learned something. You could tell by that last 10 minutes, but they still had to deal with what everybody else thought about the situation in the world. So that was deep for me. Like, absolutely. I'm glad Nate chose to end it the way he ended.
The whole movie was sad, man. Like, the way he tried to like take his son out of a bad neighborhood and put him in like a good neighborhood, quote unquote, a better school, basically like this white community, this white school. And you can tell the way they were teaching him, like they was teaching him the law. You know, like, well, that's unconstitutional for an officer to do this. You don't have to do that, right? And so he thought he had some type of privilege that he didn't have.
Right.
You know, he didn't have white privilege. And his father was trying to tell him, like, listen, son, basically, like, you're black. Like, all that shit, that's cool and all, knowing the constitutional rights. But like, you make your ass back home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy because I got sons, and it's like you can teach them everything, what to do in all these situations, and it can all be over like that.
Yep.
You know, because of somebody else's fear and how they feel about us.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
And I thought Nate did a good job with showing that, and you know how he was a black father and trying to do the right thing for his kid, and it's like he tried to put him out of harm's way, but he basically put him in harm's way in a sense. You know, it's like a lose-lose situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just and it makes you think like, man, it's just a fucked up society that we living in, man. Like we can walk outside and somebody else, you know, because of their fear and how they view us, and they don't like us, could just end our life.
Yep.
And it's scary.
And
it's scary.
Not just whether they like us, but whether they fear us, right? Like I think that's really how they view us and how they perceive us is really what it boils down to. They perceive us as threats. They go into our neighborhoods, and having never lived around black people or had positive, interactions with them prior to them becoming an officer of the law, it influences how they treat and how they look at us. And so I think that was beautifully brought out in the film. And it's a subject that needs to be talked about and included in training and weeding out motherfuckers who shouldn't be officers in the first place in the future. But all right.
Mace, my bad.
I just
want to get Mace's perspective, because I know I said, but like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, from a different perspective, like, did they miss on anything, or have you seen, people respond this way, the way they, the dialogue, or was it over exaggerated, or,
I mean, the dialogue was pretty intense, but I don't think they missed with anything. Most guys, their goal is to make it home, but people do think that way. Like, they go into neighborhoods, they've never been around black people, and then all of a sudden you're around black people, and what you see on TV and everything, you think that's what it is, but it's not, So a lot of guys act out of fear, from what I noticed. One thing I will say, I'm just be real quick on this. I've heard this a lot, but not in the same. I haven't heard it the same way. But one of the guys said, "I can't be racist," and then he said, "We can't be racist because we have a black chief." Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like saying I can't be racist. I got a black friend. Like the same thing. But yeah, I've heard that before.
He was a coon himself, though. So.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think they missed on anything. Like they hit that's why I give it a perfect 6, because like, this is stuff that I've actually lived, and I've seen it with my own eyes, and I think it was perfect.
Agreed.
Perfect dialogue, perfect everything.
Perfect discussion, fellas. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move on into to some other topics real quick. A few movies that haven't come out yet, but are trending right now. Just gonna touch on a couple of them. One really quick, I just gotta ask, because the trailer just came out this week. Godzilla versus Kong. All right, and we got some fans in the building of Godzilla, but I want to just quickly go around, ask the Blerds, who you got your money on? If the two of these folks duke it out, you rock it with Kong, you rock it with Godzilla. Personally, I think Kong gonna beat the brakes off of Godzilla, but somehow, because it's Godzilla, they're gonna turn it around where they either work together or Godzilla ends up winning by some cheesy something. But I think between the two, Kong looking pretty powerful in them damn previews. Who y'all got? Who your money on?
Okay, I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
I hope both of them die. Kong, he always doing something silly over some woman. You can't trust his judgment, so he gotta go. And Godzilla petty as hell, boy. Like they be giving him everything he want. You want nuclear stuff? I'm gonna give you nuclear. I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna feed you. Then he's still messing up property. So both of them got to go, in my opinion.
Both
bro.
of them,
man.
Double KO. All right, Mace, who you got, man?
I got Godzilla, man. Come on, man.
What?
Come on.
What?
Come on.
All right. Jay Supreme, I think I know your answer. Who you rocking with? Damn it, we lost Jay Supreme.
Oh, we lost him.
Circa 85, who you got? Who your money on?
I got Godzilla. I did like the last Kong movie better than the last Godzilla movie, but I'm just go Godzilla.
Really?
I don't know why I'm going Godzilla. But Kong Island was much better than the last Godzilla movie.
Yeah, it was. Just based off of movies, I agree with you on that. But let me ask you this. Do y'all think it's really Godzilla, or do y'all think it's going to be some shit where it's like, then they have like a mech Godzilla or some shit like a robot Godzilla or some shit in the movies? Like I've heard rumors that it's not even going to be Godzilla. It's going to be some spawn of Godzilla. Y'all buying that shit?
Well, they'll team up and probably fight a bigger boss or something. They'll be on the same team, and maybe Mothra or somebody else will make an appearance. And
bro,
they're gonna team up. Neither one of them gonna die.
It give me like that Transformers vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you already know it's just about to be this epic destruction, and it's gonna be like these very simple reasons why it comes to be. Like it don't make sense, but it's gonna be entertaining as hell to watch. I'm sure.
Yeah. It's one of those turn your brain off joints, you know.
Speaking of turning off your brain, the next preview we got to talk about, or it's not even a preview. DC announced that Justice League Snyder Cut is going to be released in March. My question is, do you all care? Are you all excited at all to see this vision brought to life?
No. 4 hours.
Yep. 4 long ass hours at that. Like,
no.
They breaking it up into episodes, though, right? Like 4 episodes or something.
No, they originally said they were going to do that. They said they were going to break it up into episodes, but then later came back and said, nope, we're just going to run it all as one long movie. So it's not even going to do that.
I'm gonna be real. I'm interested. I'm actually interested in seeing a lot of different director cuts. I'm interested to see how much the studios alter what directors and the creative side of it want to put out. So I'm always like, they say Ayer's cut for Suicide Squad. I want to see that. I want to see the original cut for Fantastic Four, the one with Michael B. Jordan. If y'all really listening to these directors and these writers and these actors, bro, like the reason why it's such a big thing, this brother had an hour and a half worth of more film.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much 30 more minutes would change the way we probably feel about that movie? So I'm actually interested. But if it come out, I'm with Mace. If it come out and it's just as booty and ass as the last one they just released, I'm flipping the table over.
Yep. I'm gonna talk so much shit. I just want to warn Blerds now that I'm gonna be one of the biggest shit talkers. If they drop this and it's garbage, everyone who advocated for this bullshit, I'm talking about, because I did not like all of Justice League. Like I didn't like it in its purest form. I didn't like it in the form that came out to theaters. I didn't even like 20 minutes of it. I thought it was I know some of us have different feelings on it. I did not enjoy the film. So to me, them advocating for the Snyder Cut release was like, why? Yes, I agree with you, Cap. 30 minutes can change a movie, but I don't think it could change it. In this case, I don't think it's going to change it dramatically. I think hopefully we might get a little bit more screen time with Cyborg or Flash, who were just kind of like glossed over originally. But other than that, I'm not sure. And I'm going to talk about, folks, if this shit comes out and is whack or as whack as the original was to me, I'm going to go on a whole rant when we come back in March.
Well, I think I'm in the long when I say I'm excited to see it, man.
Really?
I want to see it.
4
I'm
hours.
Excited.
You excited for
it?
Yeah,
I'm going to sit through all 4 hours and watch it. I'm gonna give me something to eat and I'm going to sit there and watch all 4 hours.
Okay. I ain't going to judge. I ain't going to judge. I ain't gonna judge.
An appetizer. Yeah, I'm excited.
4 hours. 4 hours.
4 long.
If you think about like the DC universe, if you take out Suicide Squad and you take out Batman versus Superman, we're not even having this conversation about DC movies. A lot of them are okay. Like Shazam was amazing.
Shazam was
the first Wonder Woman was amazing.
Yep.
We're not gonna discuss the other Wonder Woman, but the movies not that bad. Take out Suicide Squad and like I said, Batman versus Superman. Are they really that bad?
I disagree. I think they all bad. I think Aquaman.
Shazam was bad.
Huh?
Whoa.
Was Shazam bad? Shazam was bad.
No, Shazam was good. No. I like Shazam. Shazam was good. Joker was good.
What about Man of Steel?
We going so far back.
Man of Steel was pretty good too.
I love Man of Steel. I loved Man of Steel. But they screwed it up. See that, and that's what pisses me off. I can't look at it as a silo anymore. Man of Steel was great. It deserved a sequel. But what we got instead was fucking Batman Superman, which was terrible. They should not have gone that direction. In my opinion, they had Henry Cavill. He did great in Man of Steel. He should have gotten his own second standalone movie. Instead, DC figured we could make some money making him fight Batman and make it more about that shit. And I hated Batman Superman. I thought it was terrible.
It was more about Ben Affleck though. He was a big name, and I think he alone ruined the series because they made Batman OP.
Okay, I agree with that.
I've been saying that since we've been recording. It's like
we about to go into a whole.
He was just too. I know we going there, but he was just too OP.
Right.
You can admit that, right?
Cap, you're right. You
can admit that.
Yeah, I can. But no.
Batman was just too OP. I get that Lindsay not here to defend Batman, but he was just too OP.
No, he wasn't.
He was way too OP.
He got stabbed in the shoulder.
He was doing something. Come on, we're not doing that.
He's an amazing man.
He did one workout montage and got some armor and fought. Never mind. All right. Look, let's move on because we got other shit we got to talk about.
Move on.
We got to do it. We gonna drag up this whole debate again. Let's move into TV. All right. I'm excited to say the first TV show we got to talk about is one I thought was unlikely to be all that great. I'll be the first to admit it. WandaVision. All right. We got to talk about this show. When the previews first came out for WandaVision, I'm going to admit I was not interested. I thought, okay, it looked a little cheesy. It's going retro. It doesn't fall into the same genre as like the Avengers. I was not that excited, but I gave it a try. I'm like, I'm gonna see where it goes. First 2 episodes were cute. I'm, fan of old school TV, grew up watching Nick at Night. So, the whole Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke vibe. I got it. It was cool, but it's really in the last 2 episodes finally started to peel the onion back and show some of the mystery that we've been seeing, little snippets of within the show so far. And I thought this 4th episode that just dropped was fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. I thought in terms of snaps, I give it a full snap. It answered a lot of questions, had some great performances, and I got all kind of questions now where they going with the show. But what y'all feel about this 4th episode?
And that 4th episode was a bomb, man.
It
was a bomb because when it started out, I'm like, I don't see where they're going with this. Like you stated, I don't see where they're going with it. But they did a great job with just luring us in. And now, like, we're in Wanda's world now. They're like, okay, what's gonna happen? Then the 4th episode, like, boom, all right, here you go. Now it's getting real.
Yep, shit got real. Shit got real.
It got real. So, I give that I give it a 5.
Okay.
I give it a 5.
Yeah, I saw Captain Kirk shaking his head when I said they got a snap. Go ahead, Cap. What you got to say?
Bro, you get one more thing a snap. I'm a snap. That's what
Tell him, man. Tell him.
You get one more thing a snap.
Okay.
I give it a 5 though. I do agree, Mike D. It was good that they kind of did like that slow cooker, like kind of that slow burn. I can appreciate that, but I wish they would have did it after episode 2.
Yeah.
Like, all right, give me 2 of them little cute episodes. Let her have the babies. And then go ahead and let me get this reveal at 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes Marvel know they that damn good that we gonna trust. They gonna stick around. They ain't going nowhere. And I feel like they overextended that whole play out. But the payoff was worth it. And my sister Monica
Rambo, yep.
Yes. Like, for them to bring Spectrum, because that's the name of the character. They call her Captain Marvel, too. For them to bring that character, a very powerful character, and it's a sister, on this platform, and it's connected to the Captain Marvel movie, I thought that was like the dopest part of the episode. What was going on behind the scenes? So
absolutely,
I agree. They just play us a little bit. That 3 episodes, chill, man. Give me 2 and then close it out with 1. Great things come in 3s.
Perfect.
I didn't like that they brought back Darcy Lewis because she ruined Thor 2. She ruined it with that old goofy love shit. She ruined the movie, so I ain't like to bring that back. But I guess my question to y'all was y'all surprised by what the show going? Did we know this? We knew what was going on.
No.
I watched the trailer months ago. I knew what it was. So
certain stuff.
It's this.
Certain stuff you knew, but
like, I don't want to ruin it because I know I'm right. I had a talk with Tobias last night about a 30-minute conversation. We discussing this show, and I'm like, so y'all ain't see it? So you didn't see this coming? Like we knew what this was.
Certain shit you see coming, but not everything. Here's what you could say. Here's what you could say. You knew. You knew that Scarlet Witch was going to manipulate reality so that she can still have a life with her now dead fiance. Like we knew that shit was gonna happen. So that was clear. What we didn't know was that Monica Rambeau would be a central part of the show. We didn't know that SWORD, which is a organization that we have not seen yet in the Marvel universe on TV or cinema. We didn't know they were going to bring SWORD in. So there are some things that we as comic fans or whatever, just people paying attention, we could glean from the previews. But there are nuances. There's details to this shit we didn't know, and how connected it would be to the wider Marvel universe. I didn't expect the tie-in from Captain Marvel and like having the daughter now be on the show. I didn't see the connection to Thor 2 that they would bring old girl back. I know you hate her, but like didn't even know that was gonna happen. Like so. I'm just saying, like, it was elements to this that we didn't see coming. But yes, overall, yes, the story is not that far off to what we thought it might be.
So okay, I guess that's what I was worried about. I thought y'all was like, this is twisted something they showed at the end, like being like crazy. I'm like, what? We do that.
Kinda though, but they led in kind of like she was a victim of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a victim of something. And so you with Marvel, they make changes that make sense. For her to possibly be a villain is which I hope that they lean towards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they sticking with the source material. So with some of this, it's kind of like damn, I'm glad y'all sticking with that because that's a more powerful story anyway.
Yeah, facts. Right. Mace, what you think?
So I got a question. All right, so I was a little confused with this. So episode 4, it showed them everybody came back from the snap, right?
Right.
So what was wasn't the timeline from the snap to when everybody came back? The timeline, wasn't it like what, 5 years, right?
Yep, 5 years.
Okay, all right, because I remember that the doctor stated that she was like gone for like 2 years or something.
No, she was saying so what she was saying is her mom died 2 years after she disappeared. So mom's cancer came back because she had the surgery and apparently they told her, hey, your mom's is good before she got snapped out. So she came back like, what the fuck? You just told me that my mom was good. And she's like, yeah, but the cancer came back 2 years later and she died from it. And then 3 years had passed since her mom had died.
Okay, and then another thing. So when the snap happened, the first time with Thanos, I thought Wanda faded away too.
She did. At least, correct me if I'm wrong. I think she did because I remember her coming back through the portal, like and fighting in that last scene, right?
That's not the way. No.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So she just once she came back and beat Thanos' ass. The assumption is she went like completely off the Richter. Like, yeah, she helped beat Thanos, and she's like, you gonna remember me now, and all that famous scene. But afterwards, I guess she just figured, like, I'm not over the loss of... Because if you think about it in that term, for the people who were in the snap, it felt like no time had passed. So from the time that Vision died to the time she came back to finish off Thanos, she hadn't had a chance to grieve Vision's death. It was like it almost happened yesterday to her. So it would make sense that after they finished killing off Thanos or whatever, that now she's having to realize, like, my fiance is no longer here and could have created this universe of her own, and Wanda from the comics, Captain Kirk might, be able to shed some more light, had one of the dopest arcs in terms of changing reality. It's not the first time that we've seen her do this. In the comics, she did it and wiped out mutants for, new mutants for a long time. So Wanda's known for doing this type of shit. I think it's going to be interesting to see how far her powers reach in this.
Okay.
Yep. Jay Supreme, back? No, okay. All right. So let's see. Let's move on to another television show really quick. We didn't have a chance to talk about Cobra Kai, and I think we need to because season 3 came out while we were on break, and this show to me just continues to fucking get better. I have not seen a bad season yet, but as they rank, we got to look at it. How great did you all think season 3 was? To me, I don't think they've had a bad season. I would put them all on the same playing field. I'll probably give them all. Not gonna give a perfect snap because I don't want to hit Captain Kirk's mouth, but I'll give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5 stone. Okay, I'll be nitpicky about it since you want me to be, and give it a 5 this season. How'd y'all feel about season 3 of Cobra Kai?
I'm gonna give it a 4 because I don't know what Netflix is gonna do with it yet. They say that season 3 was actually supposed to go to YouTube, and this wasn't supposed to go to Netflix. But Netflix bought it from YouTube, so I want to see what Netflix do with it for season 4, how they film it, and like put some budget into it, put some money into it, and see where it go from there. But I give it about a 4.
Okay. Captain Kirk.
Yeah, it probably get about a 5 from me. I enjoyed the 3rd season equally as much. I think of the series overall is about a 5 for me. But if they do not play up this whole, all right, so the reason why it don't get a perfect for the 3rd season, the last fight scene between Kreese and the other 2 senseis, if the point is for Johnny to be like the guy to me, because I feel like he should be the guy, right?
Yeah.
Then he should have been the one to end that whole kind of physical conflict. Then they had Daniel's son come in. Oh, Daniel's son is the person with his new technique, and my man Johnny put in work.
Yep.
He broke him down, and then Daniel's son just come clean up, and he the hero again. Like that part, I'm like, all right, man, I like Johnny more at this point. And last but not least, if they like with Circus saying, it should be a conflict of ideals, right? Like for real, because they training kids together now. And so really get into that conflict, but what comes out of it should be like a new style or something like that. If they don't do that, I'm not gonna fit in that whole ending the season with an epic fight scene. Nah, man, I want them to go back to a tournament,
right?
Like one-on-ones. Like let's put this real groundwork in, because I'm getting a feeling where they gonna fight at next, at a swamp. It was in the middle. It was in the middle of the high school.
Yeah,
I just rewatched that damn scene. It's so unrealistic, but it's so good. What? No teachers, no security,
nobody.
A whole kid got knocked over a banister. And I'm being
Kirk sound like an educator now. That's like an educator. Like where the teachers?
Hey, where the teachers at? But Sersa, check this out. She got on the intercom and said,
"Yep, I'm coming to get you, bitch.
Son, I'm coming to get you, bitch." On the intercom, all call, and no teachers thought to leave the hallway. All right, I'm done. All right, I'm sorry, y'all.
It's true. I
think the biggest takeaway from season 3, if y'all really watch the cut scenes with Kreese in Vietnam, you know who they bring it back for season 4, right? Y'all already put that together, right?
Pony Tony.
Terry. Yeah. Terry. I think his name Terry, right? Terry Silver.
Yeah, Terry Silver.
I think him and Kreese probably gonna train the kids, and then hopefully Johnny and Daniel can get together and train their kids.
And they gonna make
then you get a tournament.
They're gonna make Robbie Keane out to be the bad guy. I mean, he already been set up.
Robbie definitely gonna be the bad guy.
The whole setup was making him the bad guy. By the way, I know it's a side note. I think he would play a perfect Green Ranger because he has like the Tommy vibe. But he becoming the villain in season 4 is, I think, what they were setting up this whole season for. He's gonna be their prodigy student and probably be the problem. I agree with you though, Cap. I thought it was going to tie off with the tournament because that was the whole point of them going to City Hall and having that whole discussion about bringing the tournament back. I thought that's how they would end it. I didn't think they were going to end it with them having a house fight. And yeah, it is what it is now. It's when I have to wait for season 4. That's why I didn't give it a full stone because I didn't like the way it ended necessarily. But
white privilege there. That's all I'm saying. They done broke into people's cribs. Ain't nobody look.
Yep.
Arrest all them. They need to go.
That was a bit much. Bringing it to the crib and fighting come on, call the police.
Completely destroyed the crib too. Man.
They fighting it. They fought it like the paintball place. Like, what's going on?
Yep. I am glad though. Can I just say that? Like, I'm glad Hawk at least came full circle, like at the end of the season, because I hated not liking him. Like, Hawk was one of my favorite characters, but he just went too damn far in the last season. So I was glad that, if nothing else, by the conclusion of this season, he came full circle, made up with his friend, and now they cool again. So that was it.
He broke that boy arm, man. Like, how you break his arm and not go to jail for it? Like you go home with a broke arm. What your mama gonna say?
I don't know.
Who did it? And then they did the little boy with the glasses after the car wash. They stole the money. He come back like this. All beat up and stuff, like, call the police. There's all this stuff going on, man.
Hey, man, it's fantasy, bro. It's definitely not real life.
But still, though, like, it's a line, though, man. Like, you steal the money from the car wash and, like...
And by the way, one last thing. I thought it was cute that they brought back Allie Mills from the original, but did anybody else get the feeling it was kind of like wasted? It was just like it was just to say that they did it kind of thing. Like, they had that little cute dinner, which was hella awkward, by the way. Like, your ex sitting there talking about why y'all ain't work out in front of your wife. Like, that whole situation was weird as hell. But I don't know. I felt, we knew she was gonna play a part in the season. He had like texted her or something before the end of the last season, or added her as a friend on Facebook. But yeah, I thought the whole Allie thing, y'all could say that shit.
That was just fan service.
Pretty much. All right. Let's move on into other shows really quick. There's one that's on right now that I know a few of us are watching that needs to be discussed, and it is Your Honor, because another Bryan Cranston classic, I think. I hate to use the word classic this early in a show, because it's not even going to be a full-on series. I think this is one of those like one-shots. But in terms of performances, Bryan Cranston is just delivering again, like watching Breaking Bad all over again. He is killing it, playing his role as a protective father, trying to take care of his son who did something that I don't even know if it was fucked up. He left the scene of a crime. That he left the scene. It was fucked up. But he's trying to protect his son now because he realized the kid that he ran over was this mobster son. And so it's like, you get why he's going through these extremes, but it is fucking extreme. How y'all feel about the show so far?
I know. Look, Captain Kirk, he waiting on this one. I give it a 6, man. 6.
That'll snap. Watch out.
Yeah, man. This show is just, man. I'm looking forward to like next. What's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
It's so fucked up, but it's so good at the same time. Like, it's like, what else can happen now? Like, how can it get even worse than this?
Right.
So Bryan Cranston doesn't miss. 6.
Got it. Circa, how you feel?
I love it. I give it a 6. I'm glad you finally started watching. It's really good, and I'm just hoping the black people in the show get some kind of comeuppance.
Right.
It's like the black folks are suffering so much on this show. I'm watching it like, man,
right.
They going through so much. I'm just hoping they do something. Yeah. And that's why I'm excited to see how it's going to end. But I think he would have turned his son in had it not been a mob boss who was in charge. Like, I guess when we went to the police station and he saw who it was, he said, skip it. So he doing what's right.
I give it a 5 only because, and they might explain some of this shit later. There are some things about it in terms of the plot that I didn't get. Like some things that I went back to rewatch to see if I missed something. I won't spoil it all because, Captain Kirk hasn't seen it, and some of our Blerds may not have actually tuned in yet. If you haven't, we highly recommend you check it out. But there were a few plot holes that I think I've found so far that people haven't been able to explain to me, and I'll just leave it at that for now. Once the series is done and wrapped, I think we should have a series review, and I'll dig into some of the stuff that I think I've picked out of it so far. But just in terms of the performances and some of the writing, I think it's incredibly done. All right. Let's move into gaming. Next, we got some of us finally had gotten successful, as you can see behind me. Finally got a motherfucking PS5, and that is also why. Oh, Mace, don't hate, brother. Don't hate. Look, it's coming. I know a lot of folks still out there trying to get their hands on one, so I'm sympathetic. I don't want to seem like I'm braggadocious, but at the same time, Dude, I fought like hell to get this. Like, sat in long ass lines, stood in Walmart for damn near 12 hours. It was a challenge getting this damn system, but finally got it. And wanted to do a quick review. And it might just be me and Circa 85 at this point, just really quickly running down some of the next gen games. Although I will say, Mace, that, you may not have a PS5, but I've heard you have a kick-ass PC or an upgrade that you've done.
We're going to say that for later, man. I'm going to do a review on that. It's coming, man.
All right. So for any
line rig.
Okay. All right. So for any PC gamers out there, Mace is going to come with a review because he's been hooking up his gaming rig. And so he's been able to play some of the next gen shit on his PC. And for your PC gaming, I think that's going to be a dope ass review. Real quick though, for the Sony fans that are either thinking about getting the 5 or just curious how these games at launch are, we'll quickly run down our favorites. All right. I'm just going to start a few of the notables. I think Miles needs to be owned. Spider-Man Miles Morales needs to be owned by every PS5 owner. If you pick it up, that needs to be the first game you buy. To me, it's not a long game, which is the only reason I wouldn't give the shit a 6. I give it a 5 stone, but it is still an incredible ass display of like next gen graphics. The gameplay is fluid. Miles plays incredible, like his own character. He don't play like Peter Parker. And I thought that the story and the way that they told it was deeply black. Like it wasn't just he's Spider-Man, he happens to be black. I mean, they shot it in Harlem. As somebody who's been to Harlem several times, it felt like you were swinging around Harlem. The murals and stuff that are painted, won't spoil any. There's some calls to Black Lives Matter. There's some calls to Black Panther. There's some other things in the game, little cookies that they threw in to make it just feel very personal, very black. I thought the game was amazing. Other than that, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is buggy. It's buggy, but it's worth playing if you're a fan of the series. I'd say that's probably about a 4 or 5 stone. Demon Souls is fucking tough as always. If you've ever played a From Software game, you either hate them or love them. I happen to fall into the category that loves them, even though I can't beat the shit. So I'd probably give Demon Souls a 5. Sackboy is pretty fun. Got that shit if you got a spouse or somebody that you like to play games with. It's a perfect 2-player couch game. Astro's Playhouse is surprisingly fun. The shit comes with your system, so when you get a PS5, you'll have Astros. And it might sound cheesy, look cheesy, but it will give you all respect for the controller, because the controller on the PS5 is an entirely different experience than anything you've held before. It's got haptic feedback. It's got motion sensing stuff. It can detect all kind of shit around you. It's incredible when you see it all in action. And Astros is the first game that really put all of that in front of you so you could experience it. And then Cyberpunk, Circa 85 will probably disagree with me on this. I get that shit a two stones. When it's right, when it plays the way it should play, it's incredible. But that's only about 20% of the time. the bugs in that fucking game are ridiculous. I have had crashes repeatedly. I've had it where I can't proceed in the game. I had to wait for a patch to get past a certain mission because it was flawed that way. The game is just a buggy fucking mess to me. It deserves two stones until they patch this shit up. Circa, how you feel, man? Talk to us.
I think the biggest thing about the PS5 that I love so much are the non-existent load times. So when you're playing something like Demon's Souls, and when I say like the load times are non-existent, like they're not there. Like you die, you just right back into it.
Yep.
You turn it on, you're playing. It's just, that's probably the best part for me. And the graphics are obviously an upgrade from the PS4, but like I said, the load times is what's best. But as far as Cyberpunk, they did put out a new update yesterday, and I played a little bit this morning. I saw some differences. You know, it's still a little buggy, but it didn't crash in one time in like 2 hours. Didn't crash. So
that's an improvement.
Yeah, it usually crash out every 30 minutes. It'll crash.
Yep, that's an improvement. It's fucked up to say, but
they did fix the crashing.
So this game they had all this hype around and crashing every 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't finished. They should have delayed it, but they already had delayed it like 19 times.
Yeah.
They didn't want to delay it again, so they pushed it out. But it runs great for PC if Mace wants to pick it up. It's great on the PC, I'm hearing.
I'm not buying that in today. I know for sure.
No, it's on the PC it runs perfect. There are no issues on the PC, like virtually none, I've heard.
Wow. Okay.
So you might want to look into that for the PC. But Mike forgot one game. I want to say 2K.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's actually good on the PS5, which is surprising. I bought it in vain, like I need a basketball game. And this is a new console, but it's really good. I could say that.
The graphics really looked amazing on the previews. Is it look as good as it previewed?
It looks amazing.
Yeah,
it looks amazing, and it flows good. And yes, I like it a lot. I haven't played 2K since I think Paul George is on the cup.
Damn,
that was like I want to say maybe 16 or 17. That's my last 2K, but I highly recommend it.
Solid.
But I think the biggest problem with the PS5 now is the library of games. There aren't many games. So
yeah,
it's not many games.
It is, but it isn't. Like here's the thing: I just ran through like 5 or 6 titles, right? At which, you by the time it's launched, it's not as many as you would hope. It's still better than the competition. I say that, like, the competition ain't coming with new games, and I am like you. I'm tired of the delays. Like all of the games that we've been hyped about that were supposed to come out in February, March, all getting delayed at this point. And I think personally it's because of Cyberpunk. I think Cyberpunk has scared the shit out of a lot of developers because when they put out these release dates, they have to stick to them in most cases. They hate delaying them, and when they feel pressure to just release it before it's completely done, you get a Cyberpunk. And I feel like a lot of these developers who are developing the game to be multi-platform, like PS4 and PS5, are scared as shit right now, putting out something that's even comparable to the bullshit that Cyberpunk just put out. So I think it's going to have a heavy impact on games.
In Microsoft's favor, they did just release their first big title, which is Medium.
Yeah, Medium.
It's supposed to be a horror game. I haven't played it. I did see a review. They say it's okay.
Yeah,
if you in a horror game.
Some have even said it's better than okay. I think IGN gave it an 8 and said it's a great experience. We'll have to see if Z Ali, next show, see if Z Ali's dug into it on.
I'm sure he has.
Or Mace, you could grab it on the pass, right? The Game Pass.
You know what? I'll have to check. I don't have Game Pass for Xbox. I got it for PC.
Oh, okay.
So so I'll check it out.
Yeah.
It's free on the PC for Game Pass, so you just download it.
All right, well, I'll check it out.
It's on there.
Wait, speaking of horror, what about that new Resident Evil?
Ooh, Village.
Yeah,
I played the demo, and I like to say that I think they're going more the puzzle route with this. They want to include more puzzles because there weren't many puzzles on 7.
Yeah.
7 didn't include a lot of puzzles. I think they're going back to that route. But I was impressed with the demo. I think the only issue I had was the enemies. I didn't really care for the 2 ladies who were chasing me. They didn't do it for me.
Well,
I think after Jack from part 7, that's probably the worst they could get because.
Well, they got a guy that look like Jack in this one. I think his name is Heisenberg too. Like, did you see him in the? He wasn't in the demo, but if you watch the preview, it's a guy with like a hammer or some sledgehammer or some shit that looks like Jack that might be chasing you around the place. So they didn't really like the demo was careful not to reveal too much. Like you didn't fight anybody in the demo. Like I mean, they attack you, but you didn't have any weapons to speak of. So I think there's going to be more of that in the actual game than what we probably saw in the demo. But it still creeped me the fuck out. Walking through that house was terrifying. Like if I couldn't play this shit on VR. I don't know. Tobias Black will probably try that shit. I couldn't play a game like this on the VR. I think I'd be in my basement tripping out. So we'll just leave it at that. Speaking of gaming though, Mace, I know you got some great news you want to share with the Blerds around Star Wars and games. I'll let you do the big reveal on that, man. We got some great news.
Finally, the contract with Star Wars and EA is over.
Yep.
EA, they can't get shit right. Nothing. Sport games.
Anymore.
The only thing they got right is Battlefield. I can say that. Oh, and one Star Wars game. They got the Fallen Order.
That was terrible.
It was all right.
I liked it. I
hated it.
That was not terrible.
Fallen Order was god awful. Do I need to say why or no?
No, but we obviously disagree. Okay. The three of us are like, it was a good game. You like, it's terrible, but it is what it is.
The only thing they got right.
Yeah. The Battlefield games, the second Battlefield game after they updated it and got rid of all of that, the microtransactions was actually pretty good. It's just unfortunately it took them years to do that shit before you could fully experience the game. But you're right. EA is a piece. Well, EA has fallen from grace in recent years. So I'm glad that they. So who's going to be developing this new game?
I think it's Ubisoft.
Ooh, I like that. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I like that.
So yeah, that should be pretty good, man. Hopefully, they got the reputation with the whole bugs when it comes to like the huge open world games.
Yeah,
but they don't miss.
But they don't miss. I've loved the Division.
I was hearing a open world Star Wars game, like RPG game. That's what I was hearing. Something like Knights of the Old Republican they used to have for the Microsoft. I was hearing something on that style. They was going to try to do something like that.
It's overdue.
Yep.
Like I feel like we deserve an open world Star Wars game.
Absolutely. I felt I never got to experience the Knights of the Old Republic. That's what every Star Wars gamer heralds that as like the best. I didn't get to experience that. I did play though, and I gotta say, a lot of folks might disagree. I enjoyed the Force, what was it called? The Force Unleashed games that were for like PS3 or PS2. I can't remember, but I thought that was a good series. But anyway, it needs to have an open world RPG, and this is the first time we get to see or experience that. I'm excited about that shit too. All right. Let's just talk we cannot talk about gaming this week without mentioning the biggest story in fucking gaming or just in news in general, and that's GameStop. As most of us are aware, GameStop has just incredibly grown its stock price over recent days because folks on Reddit decided to basically bet against the hedge fund managers who were shorting it, deciding that GameStop and AMC and some of these other companies were going to start losing massive amounts of money. So instead, Reddit users decided, no, we're going to, throw money into a company that we believe in, regardless of its performance. And there are arguments on both sides, but I think the majority of folks like us are like, why the fuck was it stopped? You had all these apps like Robinhood and that I think, unconstitutionally, that's just my uninformed legal opinion, stopped its users from being able to participate in the market, which I think is fucked up. Did it help a company that was sinking in its performance? Yes, but that's what people who participate in the stock market do all the fucking time. I think what they don't like is the fact that this time it was done by regular, ordinary people as opposed to these big, rich hedge fund or investment fund managers. But that is a subject that's come up a lot over the last week. How y'all feeling about the GameStop story?
I think you said it all, man. It just shows you the power of Reddit and how this one community came together to this and did this. I find that alone amazing.
Yep.
Like people literally got in the chat and Reddit. Millions of people and did that and just spread the word and just shows the power of the people. And I missed out. I personally missed out on the GameStop.
Same here.
Yeah,
but man. I think now it's going for like $323 last time I checked. But at one point it was for like $400 something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it got as low as 27 at first when people started buying it. So people who bought they came up. People came up. That's all I can say.
Yep.
And Robinhood did stop accepting, GameStop and A&E stock. So
right, which is fucked up. They'll let you sell it, but they won't let you buy it anymore, which I think is I think it manipulates the market. I think that hopefully there have already been several lawsuits filed against the company for doing it. I hope they're successful in beating them in court, because to me, there's nothing illegal about what they did. It's how investors make decisions based on speculation and shit all the time. Only difference again is that it was done by regular folk. And I think that's what upsets them the most, is just knowing that this was just a group of random guys on Reddit, as opposed to some billionaires deciding for themselves which stocks should be short and which should be high. Just my personal opinion. But I hope at some point they open it back up and that we can look at more companies to pretty much save and invest in that we believe in, because that I think is a great story. It's a lot of gamers who don't want to see GameStop go away. I made a whole rant about them before the holidays about how fucked up the launch of the PS5 had gone and their communication of it. But I don't want to see GameStop close. Like you still want it to be in existence. I think it's going to be hard though for the company. They have to figure out a way to survive now that games are going mostly digital. But you know, if it helps save them some time to kind of think through options, then cool. All right. Let's move on. We've got a comic and anime topic up next that I can't participate in because it's one of my favorite shows, but I have not had a chance to dive into its latest season, and that is Attack on Titan. Now, I know Captain Kirk, Jay Supreme, y'all all caught up and seen it, so I'm going to throw the ball over to you, Jay, to talk about how awesome this season has been.
All right, so the build up to what's happening right now has been phenomenal. And these last 2 episodes, Captain Kirk, like it's been like off the chain. Like some of the stuff, like everyone different. Like you see people, you see these guys like just grow up, and they are just so different in their mannerisms and in their character development without them really saying much, because it's been nothing but action so far. But it's actually been a lot of talk, but it's because a lot of information. But as far as like them like talking to each other or whatever, you really don't know who they are in a sense. You just see them acting it out. Like Aaron, this mog, his whole mannerism is totally different. It totally changed. Like I think his motto right now is "fuck them kids," and you will see it. You will know why I say that once you see and once you get caught up with it. Am I right? Captain Kirk? Shouldn't that be his motto?
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. That's his motto. Bro, it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the story, how it's like the time jump, and how they're like seeing us. I'm not seeing us. I'm sorry. How they're showing us a different perspective from the guys across the sea, right? And the way the shit. I'm trying not to spoil you, man, but the way the shit went down, like how. If you go back to season 1 and how like how the Titans attacked the wall, right? And how they just started wrecking shit. So think about that now and how so much advanced shit is. And like it's dope. What you got, Captain Kirk?
Yeah, I agree. It definitely comes full circle.
For sure. That's the perfect word, bro. That's the perfect word for what's happening right now, at least.
It comes full circle. You get the perspectives, like Jeff was saying, of the, what do we call them, Marlene?
Yeah.
Or the
Marleys.
Those people. Yeah, the Marleys. And you also get to see how some of the decisions Reiner and his crew made, how it affected them long term as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that undercover stuff ain't no joke. And you get to see like how that kind of played a part. But like that cycle is crazy, because that cycle that they started, Reiner and all the people of that country, you got to see how Aaron and Mikasa and Levi and them have attempted to end the cycle, essentially.
Yeah.
But Jeff put it perfect. The person that's changed the most, at least from what you can see, like all of them look different. Shout out to the character designs.
Yeah.
Aaron look like some hippie right now or some shit. But Aaron's tone has completely changed. You know how you be like erratic, like very immature and stuff? That fool calm, calculated, and vicious.
He know what the hell
you trying to see like, bro, something else don't seem right. You don't get like the happy-go-lucky vibe. It gets dark quick.
Yeah.
And that's the part about the show that we come to love.
Yeah.
But
his motivation is totally different now.
Yeah.
You know, like at first it was like revenge in a sense, like you know what I'm saying? And you know, and now I guess it is in a sense of revenge, but it's more so like y'all motherfuckers kick this shit off. You know what I'm saying? And y'all been like, y'all trying to wipe us out. So we gotta protect us. You know what I'm saying? And they bringing it to them, bro. Like this shit. If Attack on Titan was like live action, I honestly believe this would be like a top 5 TV series of all time. Like the shit, and I watch anime. There's some anime that I haven't seen that I need to like check out, like Hero Academia.
That's good.
But like this one in particular, this Attack on Titan, bro, like it's just amazing the way the writing is. I'm gonna have to like watch it again in English dub, because you trying to read it and then you trying to like watch it at the same time. It's kind of difficult because you missing shit, and you know how Attack on Titan is with their information. You can't miss nothing.
You blink
and it's over with. You know, and then you know how they got 3 different like histories on like what happened and why things are. Yeah. So it's like you kind of like got to make up your mind on like what really happened. So hopefully by the time it's over, the real truth of like, you know, it's dope, man. Y'all need to like check out this new season, man. I can't even stress how important it is for y'all to like watch it, and y'all can binge it right now to these next at least 6 episodes.
You're gonna be mad as hell though. Mad, yeah. I'm glad y'all waited as long as y'all waited. Me and Jeff been waiting. Yeah. So I've been waiting week to week for like 3 weeks. Man. And
my God.
That shit hit a little different when they do these cliffhangers. Bro. And you gotta wait a week.
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting, man. First I didn't want to watch it week to week. So my wife and I were like, we're gonna wait and let it build up a little bit. Now I think it's like episode 8?
I think 7.
Yeah, 8.
It come out today.
So I think it's enough now that I can feel comfortable jumping in, but I couldn't do that to myself because I know that's how every other season of Attack on Titan is. It fucks you up. Like this is worse than Game of Thrones in a sense. Like you really get attached to these characters, and this show gives no fucks about killing any of them off. So I'm gonna dive back in, but
there's so much happening. There's so much happening, bro, and it's like you try not to think about like how they gonna end it because there's still so much that needs to happen. But there's so much that's going on right now. There's so much, man. It's dope. It's amazing. Y'all check that out.
Now this is supposed to be,
huh?
Oh, where can you find it? Where can you stream it?
Well, you know how I watch it.
let me help some of my citizens out. Some of the citizens. Watch that joint on Hulu, family. Hulu got a lot of quality anime.
They do
because they got a contract with Crunchyroll or something that they bought. I don't know, but they get a lot of that stuff. The dubs.
Yeah.
So.
For those who tired of paying subscriptions, for those of you who are tired of unnecessary ads in the middle of a show, for those of you who want to watch it anytime you want, come on over to Cinema HD.
Hey man, that fool is Suge Knight, man. Suge Knight of it all.
The word does not endorse the use of the illegal streaming service.
For the record, I do not know this man.
Right. Make sure to put a disclaimer behind that shit.
I don't know this man. I just met him
Cable bill for what?
Know, right? So you get that.
You wrong.
Make sure you get that VPN.
Hey, well, speaking of Suge, that's a perfect segue into some hood shit that we got to talk about. Man, Circa 85 had to leave because this was actually his brainchild, but I want to go through and ask the Blerds just to have some fun. Of all of the hood movies that are out there, what would you consider to be your top 5 hood movies of all time? Jay Supreme, I think I'm gonna kick it off with you. I want to hear your list, man.
All right, okay. You gonna start it off with me?
Yeah,
I'm gonna kick it off. All right, so I might have some honorable mentions. It's hard for me to like really put these in like 1 through 5. All right, so I'm gonna go number 5. Let me see. I'm gonna go Boys in the Hood.
Okay, classic.
Number 5. Number 4, Dead Presidents.
Classic.
Number 3, Paid in Full.
Classic. Okay, so far.
Number 2, Juice.
Okay. Okay, I can't argue that.
And number one of my favorite is Fresh.
Fresh.
Yep. Now it was difficult for me to come up with like a definition of hood classic, right? So like, did we do Slept On, or was it like a major release in the theaters, or was it like heavily bootlegged? You know what I'm saying? Or was it like one of those every black person that saw this movie before? You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to like really like stick to because it's a lot of hood classics. We can do comedy hood classics, we could do action hood classics, we could do gangster hood classics, like so. And then like my honorable mentions were South Central, Menace to Society, Belly, Shotters, City of God.
City of God. Damn, why did I think of that?
It's just a lot of you got Friday, you got it's just, I'm gonna be quiet because I don't want to influence nobody else's.
I'm just like, all right, like I agree with you. Fresh was dope, but like top 5 though.
Yeah, so like the story of Fresh is amazing. The way that kid manipulated grown folks and protected his sister, protected his family without her really knowing what he was doing, and him being a kid out there selling drugs, living that life and just trying to do the right thing, and having a father who was like absent, but he was there, but he didn't have his shit together. Like he was a boy, in a man role, and just trying to protect his family. And growing up in inner city, you see a lot of the stuff or been through what this young man has been through. Maybe not to like the extreme of doing what he did at the end, but you make decisions based on who you're trying to protect. Especially if you're a kid or you got a good heart, you're doing things to protect yourself, protect your family, and you're on survival mode. And I personally, related to the movie. It resonated with me it resonated with me a lot. So it might not be like all time like great, but like it's my favorite. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
One of my favorite hood classics. So, and then that's the thing too with the criteria. Like, are we doing our favorite, or are we doing like what would be like critically acclaimed a great movie? You know what I'm saying? So like it's a mixture of both. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you can name a movie that was better than my list, but like I can argue anybody about my list, so let's do it. Let me hear what y'all got.
Because I'm sure you don't have some, but Captain Kirk, let's see what your top 5 looking like first.
Yeah, I try to be a little bit more balanced, little comedy, a little romantic, you know what I mean? Trying to be out here. But I can't say in any particular order, but I definitely got paid in full on my Boys in the Hood, of course. I got Friday, the first Friday. It's definitely a hood classic. I got Poetic Justice. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Poetic Justice?
Yeah, ain't a hood movie.
It ain't no hood movie.
It's a hood movie.
Jackson in it.
Jason Lyric then.
Jason Lyric.
What?
Jason Lyric then. Okay. All right. Can't put no love. Can't put no hood love.
Love over there. No, man.
Okay. I see where y'all heads at. I see where it's at.
No,
I got First Time Felon on that too.
Oh,
I thoroughly enjoyed First Time Felon.
That's a good one.
It was an amazing movie. And the honorable mention would be like American Me. I don't know if y'all ever watched that. It ain't from a hood that I'm from, but
nah.
But I definitely respect it. That's an amazing movie, American Me.
I like that.
And I got some others, but I ain't about to get into it. But yeah, that's what I got.
You named 2 that I've never seen. I've never seen American Me.
Check that out. Check out American Me, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got them both Googled. I wanted to talk shit, but I've never seen First Time Felon either. Those
You
two.
you can still talk shit though, because the rest of his list was trash. Talking about some.
I would never do Poetic Justice.
Hey, bro, I ain't say Jason's lyric. I said what Jason's lyric then, but I'm sticking with Poetic Justice, bro.
Poetic Justice. Baby boy, man.
Yeah, Chicago, brushing his hair.
Chicago, come on, man.
Mace the Great, who you got, man?
All right, man. I ain't got no love stories.
Man, cold blooded.
Shots fired.
But we got Friday. You know,
okay,
that's the classic. That's number one for me. Paid in Full. Shot Us. Belly.
Ooh, Shot Us. Forgot about that
one. Juice. And then for the honorable mention, Snow on the Bluff.
Yeah, that was funny.
Shit, I might as well put on State Property.
State Property almost hit, man.
Yeah, you know. What Paper Soldiers.
Hold on, y'all gonna let him get away with Snow on the Bluff though?
That's a hood classic. That's a hood classic, bro.
It was one that you said that was questionable, Mace. What's yours again, real quick? Say it one more time.
I got Friday.
Yeah.
Paid in Full. Shot Us. Belly and Juice.
Oh, okay, I know which one now. All right, I'm gonna get to you in a second.
Let's go, Mike.
All right. Shot Us, by the way. I think that's the one. I got a prediction that's gonna be the way he goes in on. But look, mine's is basic as hell compared to y'all. Y'all actually put some good thought into like other ones. I've done the classics: Boys in the Hood, Dead Presidents. Dead Presidents is probably my top. Like I put that number one. Best soundtrack ever. Paid in Full. Belly, I put on here because I know it's a hood classic, probably critically, but the acting in Belly sucked. It'll just be 100% about
That's
it.
what make them hood classics.
Right.
It was just a hood ass story, but it was terribly acted. I'll just put it that way. And then New Jack City. New Jack City.
New Jack City.
I was surprised none of y'all said that one.
I mean, we got a lot that we didn't mention. Sugar Hill,
yeah.
Sugar Hill was amazing.
You know,
yeah.
What's the joint? Hoodlum. What about Hoodlum?
Hoodlum. Yeah, Hoodlum was definitely a hood movie. That's old school hood too.
Oh, Blue Hill Avenue.
That's the one I was trying to remember. I was like, damn, what was the name of that movie?
It's a lot of movies we ain't. You got what about Love Jones? Is that a hood classic?
South Central was good too.
South Central. I got South Central. Yeah.
Yep. I wouldn't consider Love Jones a hood classic. They were middle class. That wasn't hood. That was like,
what about
was regular Negroes?
What about movies like The Wood?
Again, middle class. I wouldn't consider that hood.
Middle class.
Hey, but they was dealing with some hood shit though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like May said, that was really decent.
What's my joint with old boy G?
Above the Rim, y'all ain't put that on there.
Above the Rim.
Ooh.
Yeah, Sunset. Yeah. Above the Rim for sure.
Players Club. We ain't put Players Club on there. CB4.
Oh, CB4. Sweat CB4, from my balls.
Well, Mike over here starting off the podcast with like, we black, y'all.
And I'm black, y'all.
I was looking like, okay. 187 and 1 2. I say 187.
Oh yeah, 187.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Right, what about Colors?
Shit, that's class good. All right, so I like hearing Belly on a couple of lists, bro. Like Belly was bad to me.
It was bad.
What do you mean bad?
Poorly acted. Definitely.
It was poorly acted. I didn't really care for the story either, bro. Like the whole at the end, DMX should have went out like a old dog. You get what I'm saying? Like one of those, and then he get changed in like 30 seconds of a scene. Like, come on, man. Could it have been a slow burn to that? So that's why I couldn't, because they wouldn't let Nas already gave us enough hope for the other end of it. You get what I'm saying? In the movie, they should have let X be X and end it like that. But I ain't really care for Belly. It just had some real cool visions on it. but a lot of stuff ain't make sense in that to me.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I like Belly. Belly is one of, like, if Belly was on right now and I was just happening to film new channels, I'll stop and watch it. But that I think that's what makes it a hood classic, because it's like a lot of these movies aren't like really great, you know, and that kind of like, it's like nostalgia in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like you remember the first time when you watched it, you know, and sometimes you know it takes you back to, you know, we got like Get Rich or Die Trying. Is that a hood classic? You know,
I wouldn't call it classic.
I'm gonna answer that for you. No.
So like, I think we need to define like what are
what's one that people will probably call a classic that I never really fucked with either is Baby Boy. Like
Baby
most people
Boy.
would be like,
I like Baby Boy.
Yeah.
I hated Baby Boy. It's all right.
It's a hood classic.
I think that's the great thing about like the concept of the show, though, right? We all black nerds, but we see stuff different.
Fact.
Like, for what I'm starting to notice about you fellas, y'all got these emotional connections.
He about to put us in the box. He put us in the box. Sel ain't got no. Sel is happily married with 2 kids. He talking about emotions. He ain't got no emotions. He over there cold blooded.
Hey, all I know is a lot of tears we talking about on this show. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad we're not the cliche black man. You know?
We are not. We full of emotions over here.
Yeah, me too. I was just crying about my son last night, so we good.
Yeah,
but today I'm a G.
Right now, these 2 hours that we on this show, I'm a G.
Right.
I ain't gonna be no.
Hey, you see the emblem?
I see you. The reason I wore this sweatshirt.
But yeah, I think it's all about like how does these old movies connect with us, that we will always keep it at the top of our list, even if it's trash. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll watch it just for, like Jeff was saying, nostalgia purposes. Like I will look at one on here. Poetic Justice wasn't a great movie, but that Chicago brushing his hair, even like my concept on like Black Love at that time, like that Joker gonna get on your nerves. She gonna get on your nerves sometimes, but it's like all these different steps you can take to get to that point. So like that Pac and Janet, even though it's some background shit with that, like it was a cute little story. One of the first that I appreciated.
So if we doing Poetic Justice, why we can't do Love Jones as a hood classic?
Because Love Jones is middle class. Ain't no hood in it. It's like,
but it's like, so when I say hood, I'm thinking about blackness too. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, that's different though. I mean, like hood is like Pac going to the barbecue. Like there was
mainstream.
Yeah, but like,
but like an underground comedy club. I mean, underground like poetic club or like jazz club. Like that's like adult shit, but it's still like people. You know what I'm saying?
Low key, it is hood because it was just for the culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Love Jones was just that wasn't something that was widely received, and crazy now. Like it's hard for stuff to get hood classics now. You got to be real underground now, because people so own our culture. You know what I'm saying? So some of that crap go mainstream now. You know? So,
yep, that's real.
Hey,
well, that's real. You know, my list was better than everybody.
Trash,
but
finish the sentence for you. Trash.
I think mine was better than all y'all's.
All right. Well, look, real quick before we close out, because I really wanted you all to have a chance to discuss one show that we didn't get a chance to earlier. Jay, now that we got you, Vikings had its season end with season 6. I am not caught up yet. I've just started because y'all talked about it and bragged about it all these years. Captain Kirk, Jay Supreme, talk to us about the series. Did it go out a classic? Was it disappointing at all at the end? I mean, give me your full unscripted. I don't even care about spoilers at this point. Just go ahead, let us know how you felt about it.
Nah, that'll be unfair, bro, because you like in the middle of watching it. And like our opinion is gonna like sway you to either continue to watch it or stop. You know?
Yeah, do you want us to just give you our rating?
Yeah, just give it a rating. Like
the overall series.
Overall series.
Go ahead, Captain Kirk.
I would give it a 5 for sure. A strong 5. So damn near perfect for me. I I would say they may have suffered from some Game of Thrones ish type back end of it, but it wasn't as that bad. And I would say the way they started the last little chapter, it was so epic that I think it would be very difficult to close out a show like that, because it's hard to bring characters that stand out that much to a close that's satisfying. And I have not seen too many shows, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, that just like hit it on the mark. When they ended the show that was so popular and epic and grand and scale, and I think Vikings suffered from that. And my last point on Vikings, I feel like they focused on a lot of characters that I didn't really care about that last little segment of the show. Those last 10 episodes, they focus on characters that they just brought in last season. So fuck them. I want to hear about Uber. I want to hear about, if I was about to give a spoiler, I'm a chill. But Vikings was 5 for a strong 5. You should watch it from beginning to end and get all the good feels of the show when it coming to a close. So that's me.
That was very well put. I would go with, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with 5. I'm not even going. I would go 5 out of 6 Infinity Stones. The last season, the way it started, man, was some of the most beautiful, some of the most amazing acting. The way it was shot, it was just perfect. And you don't get that often watching a TV series. And what they suffered from was topping that, and it was just so amazing. And you just felt like, oh, this shit it's about to be one of them ones, and it didn't quite live up to the first episode. And it also didn't really, you try to think of things like, you want to bring things full circle, right, with this character development. And they missed on some of that full circleness. If that's even a word. But you get what I'm saying. I would still give it a strong 5, because the 6 seasons was amazing. And the only dry spots were introducing new characters, but having to still make them go through like character development. So you appreciate them growing. You know what I'm saying? So like when you go through like the first 4 seasons, everybody is growing together. You know what I'm saying? You see that raw character development, and then they have to introduce more characters that becomes like main characters. So they got to go through that type of cycle again, right? And so, but you appreciate that because it's some amazing acting and there's some great storyline. It is just some like dry spots here and there, but overall, it's an amazing series. And if you haven't watched it, anybody out there that's listening, definitely check it out. Mike, you should definitely finish it, bro. And then I can really give you the raw and uncut. It's not. It wasn't as bad as Game of Thrones for sure. I can't even watch Game of Thrones like right now without getting pissed off. Like and Game of Thrones should be one of those series where you can just watch over and over again. And I can't even watch it. I want to watch it up to the 6th season, but I can't because I know how bullshit and how fucked up how it ended with 7 and 8. You know what I'm saying? But the Vikings, if you're gonna knock anything, you can't knock 2 seasons back to back like you can do with Game of Thrones. It's not even that close. So yeah. And but yeah, so if we could, yeah, you know what, Sel, I'm with you with the 5 out of 6. I was just thinking, bro. I'm with you with 5 out of 6 Infinity Stones. I think that's a good strong number.
Let me ask y'all real quick, because you brought up Game of Thrones and how it ended, and that scarred me. I that's why I asked now about series before I even dive into them if they've been on this long. Is like, tell me how it ends, because the ending can, if you can't stick the landing on the ending, sometimes it ain't even worth the damn investment, right? But let me ask y'all, speaking of Game of Thrones, they announced that, HBO Max is going to have the new series spinoff.
Yep.
Are you all planning to watch the shit?
Sure.
Has it turned you off, enough where you like, I'm done watching anything related, or y'all going to check out the spinoff?
I'm going to check it out. Anything Targaryen, I'm for it. It's supposed to be like some Targaryen history in there. Mm-hmm. I love the Targaryen lore, the Targaryen history for sure. I'm with it.
Hope they get right. Because this one won't be based off of any of the books, right? Like, it's just going to be a pure standalone.
No. It's some source material for sure. It's enough source material for them to do this. Yeah.
All right. In that case, I'm in. All right. So, all right. So I think that wraps all of the topics for the first season back. First episode of second season. Fellas, appreciate you. All of you all listening. Thank you. Fucking thank you for all of the subscribers, for all of the listeners, for all of the folks who liked us on social media. Thank all of you, because you all are the reason we keep this shit going, why we're so excited to do this. And if you've noticed on the video or any of the pictures that we post out that we got some merch, this shit is great. We want to thank again Genuinely Creative for coming up with the designs, the prints, and know that as listeners, as subscribers, we're going to have some of this shit to give away real soon. So by the next episode, we'll have some special announcements on how you can get your hands on a special customized merch from Blerds the Word. But until then, family, stay black, stay blurred, and we'll see you on the next episode. Blerds out. Blerds the Word, Mike B, Jay Supreme. Blerds the Word is Z Ali, Captain Kirk. Blerds the Word, circa 85. Tobias Black.